Муртазалиев своего соперника, а вот...
Tim Tszyu is on the brink of greatness, with a golden opportunity to carve out his own legacy as a multiple world champion, just like his legendary father. He's set to face the undefeated Russian powerhouse, Bakhram Murtazaliev, for the IBF super-welterweight title in Florida. And the stakes couldn't be higher. As the excitement heats up, the big question looms. Can Tim Tszyu rise to the occasion and claim the title, or will he fall short under the pressure? Make sure to let us know in the comments below, and before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe. After some intense negotiations, Tim Tszyu finally locked in a date. They'll be going head-to-head at the Carib Royale Resort in Orlando on October 20th. The IBF had ordered Murtazaliev to defend his title against Tszyu, because Tim is their highest-ranked contender and a former WBO world champion. But here's the thing. Tszyu had a tough time with his last few fights falling through, mainly because his opponents didn't show up. He was really worried that Murtazaliev might back out too. Thankfully, his promoter confirmed that this fight is exactly what Tszyu deserves after he had to give up his WBO belt in March due to a heartbreaking loss to Sebastian Fundora in Las Vegas. It's a huge moment for Tim, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. George Rose, the boss of No Limit Boxing, really believes in Tszyu. He said, "There are very few fighters who can endure what Tim went through and come out even stronger." He's calling Tszyu a warrior with an unbreakable spirit, which is super exciting to hear. Now, Tszyu has the chance to show everyone why he's considered the best 154-pound fighter in the world. If he can defeat Bakhram Murtazaliev, who's also undefeated, he'll make history by becoming the first Australian father-son duo to win multiple world title belts, just like his dad, Kostya. Main Event's CEO, Kathy Duva, is also super hyped about this matchup. She mentioned that even before Murtazaliev's impressive win in Germany, he was calling for a fight with Tszyu. He wants to show everyone what he's got in the US, which makes this event even more special. With both fighters being aggressive and ready to engage, this could be a real fight of the year contender. It's definitely a fight you don't want to miss. So, while Tim Tszyu is radiating confidence going into this fight, he's up against Bakhram Murtazaliev, whose fighting style is a serious challenge. Murtazaliev is tough and has an incredible ability to absorb punches, which makes this matchup super interesting. It's going to be about Tszyu seeking redemption after his last loss while dealing with an opponent who doesn't back down easily. That unpredictability is what makes boxing so thrilling. This will be Tszyu's first fight since losing to Sebastian Fundora, and he's really hoping that a win could open the door to some exciting future matchups against big names in boxing. If he can take down Murtazaliev, he's definitely setting his sights on higher profile fights or even a title shot in the near future. So the bottom line is this: Tszyu's upcoming fight is crucial for his career and his dreams of facing tougher opponents. If he comes out on top against Murtazaliev, it could reignite his chances at bigger titles and really solidify his place in the boxing world. This fight is going to be a game changer for him, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out. But in the meantime, let's take a look at their last couple of fights, starting with Bakhram Murtazaliev. Bakhram Murtazaliev versus Jack Kulkai. Patience really paid off for Bakhram Murtazaliev in his recent fight. He won the vacant IBF 154-pound title by stopping Jack Kulkai in the 11th round with a flurry of punches. That was the only knockdown in the fight, and Kulkai couldn't recover from it. The fight took place at Stadthalle in Falkensee, Germany, and it was intense. Kulkai did manage to get back on his feet after being knocked down, but he fell right into the referee, who decided to stop the fight at 2 minutes 50 seconds in the 11th round. Murtazaliev started the fight strong but began to tire by the middle rounds. This opened the door for Kulkai, a seasoned fighter and 2008 Olympic participant for Germany, who was looking to seize his last chance at a major title. Kulkai, who was ranked as the ring's number 10 contender at 154 pounds, took control of the fight in the later rounds and seemed poised to win. But just when it looked like Murtazaliev needed a miracle, he delivered. In the 11th round, he landed a series of solid right hands on Kulkai's chin, forcing Kulkai to retreat. Even though Kulkai threw a final left hook to the body, he couldn't defend against Murtazaliev's relentless attack. Murtazaliev landed a vicious left hook and a big right hand, sending Kulkai down with just 24 seconds left in the round. Kulkai barely managed to get to his feet but fell forward as the referee stopped the fight. Murtazaliev dropped to his knees in celebration after earning that hard-fought title win. Bakhram Murtazaliev versus Roberto Valenzuela Jr. Bakhram Murtazaliev completely dominated Roberto Valenzuela Jr. in an 8th-round fight, winning by unanimous decision with all 3 judges scoring it 80-72. Murtazaliev was sharp throughout the fight, boxing comfortably off his back foot and landing crisp counters against an aggressive Valenzuela. Even when Valenzuela did connect, Murtazaliev took the shots well and stuck to his strategy. Valenzuela, who has lost 2 of his last 3 fights, was clearly outmatched and needed a knockout in the final round. But Murtazaliev kept him under control. In the 7th round, Murtazaliev rocked Valenzuela with a straight right, forcing him to hold on. And throughout the fight, he landed clean shots, including left hooks, uppercuts, and hard right hands. Valenzuela tried to pressure him in the 5th round but couldn't do much damage. And Murtazaliev's counterpunching made it clear he was in full control from start to finish. Bakhram Murtazaliev versus Chiari Gray. Bakhram Murtazaliev solidified his spot as the IBF's mandatory junior middleweight challenger during another Jermel Charlo undercard. He faced Chiari Gray in an 8th-round middleweight match and completely dominated, winning by unanimous decision with scores of 79-73, 79-73, and 78-74. Murtazaliev, now 19-0 with 14 knockouts, showcased his skills and power throughout the fight. He expects to challenge Charlo next if Charlo beats Brian Castano in the main event that night. Murtazaliev's performance was impressive. He pressured Gray consistently, landing strong overhand rights and hooks. In the 5th round, he hurt Gray with a left hook to the body, and even though Gray landed a notable left hook in the 8th round, Murtazaliev was already in control. Early on, he knocked Gray off balance with a right hand and bloodied his nose with hard shots, clearly establishing himself as the stronger fighter. Now, let's take a look at Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu versus Brian Mendoza. Tim Tszyu successfully defended his WBO junior middleweight title for the first time, facing Brian Mendoza in a bout that showcased his patience and strategy. For the first 6 rounds, Tszyu was focused on finding the right moment to deliver a powerful blow, while Mendoza was more active, keeping busy with his punches. That moment arrived in the 7th round when Tszyu landed a stunning triple uppercut that rocked Mendoza and shifted the momentum of the fight. Tszyu capitalized on this breakthrough and increased his offensive output, particularly in the 10th round, where he unleashed a series of heavy right hands that put Mendoza on the defensive. Despite Mendoza's toughness and determination to stay in the fight, Tszyu's power ultimately prevailed. The judges scored the bout 116-111, 116-112, and 117-111, all in favor of Tszyu, who improved his record to 24-0. Tim Tszyu versus Carlos Ocampo. Tim Tszyu, the undefeated Australian fighter, delivered an impressive performance, knocking out contender Carlos Ocampo in the 1st round to defend his interim WBO 154-pound title. Tszyu wasted no time in the fight, landing a powerful right hand just over a minute in that sent Ocampo to the canvas. He finished the fight with a lunging left hook that knocked Ocampo into the ropes, prompting referee Dan Rex Taptasan to stop the match at just 1 minute 17 seconds into the round. Despite having undergone surgery less than 3 weeks prior due to a dog bite on his right forearm, Tszyu showcased remarkable resilience and strength. Tim Tszyu versus Tony Harrison. Tim Tszyu became a world champion after knocking out American boxer Tony Harrison in their super-welterweight match in Sydney. In the 9th round, Tszyu landed a series of powerful punches to Harrison's head and body, which resulted in the referee stopping the fight and awarding Tszyu the interim WBO belt. This victory allowed Tszyu to follow in his Hall of Fame father's footsteps, Kostya Tszyu, who won his first world title when Tim was just 2 months old. Seemingly ahead on points, Tszyu burst into action, forcing the referee to halt the bout at the Kudos Bank Arena. In the early rounds, Tszyu was cautious and struggled to land effective punches as Harrison was busier and more active. However, he began to turn the tide with a significant overhand right in the 3rd round, followed by more effective shots in subsequent rounds. The fight culminated in the 9th round, where Tszyu unleashed a flurry of powerful blows that led to Harrison's defeat.
Stoppage! He predicted that and he did it!
So, who do you think will win this bout? Share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe.